What is a join? Well, quite simply put, a join is a process where you take two data sources, such as two tables. In this case, we're looking at the act table and the show table, and actually three tables in this case, the venue table, to join information from three sources of information into a single result set. What we're actually doing here is a subset of the data model used in these courses. I'm joining the act table, the show table, and the venue table, getting the name of the act and the name of the venue, and pushing them out as a report. We're joining based on the key values between the act and show table, the act ID, and the key values between the venue and the show table as well, the venue ID. Technically, a join in its simplest form is actually a join between two tables. So in theory, what this is actually a join between three tables, or a join between the act and show table, which then joins to the venue table. So this query is actually two joins. This query actually has the act ID and the venue ID first, in alphabetical order: act venue, act venue. In reality, the result down here is actually venue ID, act ID, venue name, act name. There is also a new ANSI standard format for joining tables that looks like this. As opposed to having the join syntax defined in the where clause, the new ANSI standard format uses something called the join clause, in addition to two extra clauses called the using and, not shown in this diagram, the on clause. All the join clause does is, in the from clause, it tells you to find the act table and join it to the show using a specific key, and then take the result and join it to the venue table using another specific key. Obviously, the keys have to be declared on both tables. They don't have to be keys, but they should be. You can also use the on clause that will allow you to define exactly or explicitly which columns on which table are used, as in a.actID equals s.actID. As opposed to using the using clause where you define a single field name, you can also use the on clause where you can explicitly define the fields on each table that comprise the join. So you join act and show based on the show table's act ID joining to the act table's act ID. And similarly with the venue, where you join the venue ID from the venue table to the show table. This can be very useful when you have a situation with two tables that have columns with different names, which should be obvious when using the using clause, because you only find a single field. If you're trying to join with two different names, it can confuse the SQL query engine.